Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a cute video, and you guys know that I love blush so much, and I was watching a few YouTubers doing similar videos, and I've been thinking for a while in doing this with every single category in my collection, but I decided to start with blush. And if you guys like it, you can tell me which category you want to see next here on my channel. I asked my husband to choose 10 blushes from my blush drawer, and I don't have any blush palettes there, only single blushes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the blushes, and I'm gonna let you know if I would repurchase them. This is sort of a good exercise to do when you're thinking about purchasing a lot of things for the holidays. For me, blush is a weakness. I want to have all the blush formulas. Blush is one of those things, even more than eyeshadow palette, that I can fill my cart with. Even if I don't purchase them, they're the thing that get my attention the most. Before we go into the video, let's just go and do the YouTube thing and just give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to see the 10 blushes that my husband picked out and my thoughts on them, and if I would repurchase either the formula or the color or both, then just keep on watching. I have here 11 blushes because he actually chose 2 from Chanel, and then I know that he chose one from Nars that has been discontinued for ages. I want to talk about it anyway, because when you're doing this, it's basically you're shopping your stash, and for me, shopping your stash is more about what you have, and if you could turn back time, would you repurchase it knowing what you know about the product, than if the product it's viral, it's trendy, or if it's still available. I don't care if something was limited edition or if it's still available. It's just in my collection, and if I could turn back time, would I repurchase it? Or if it was still available, if I finished it, would I repurchase it? Okay, let's start with Chanel. So I have these 2 Chanel blushes, and these ones are in the shades Plum Attraction and Accent. I don't think these shades are available, and I love the Chanel formula. I have 2 more in my collection. This one I wouldn't repurchase. This is a beautiful winter shade. You could even use it now for fall, but the truth is, you guys, that I have a lot of plums in my collection, and it took me years to realize that those are not my favorite shades to wear. I've gone through stages in which I wear nudes, in which I wear pinks, corals, and peaches, but I've never gone through a phase in which I wear plums heavily. Yeah, this is not one that I would repurchase. I'm not gonna declutter from my collection. This blends beautifully, and Chanel blushes are truly expensive blushes. If I could turn back time, I wouldn't purchase this one. Then on the other hand, I have here Chanel Accent, and this one, if it was still available and I finished it, I would repurchase time after time. And for sure, if we're talking about the overall formula of Chanel blushes, I know that they changed it recently, so the old formula, I would repurchase, or I would purchase all of the shades. For me, it was a matter of Chanel not being at Sephora, then being in a way harder to get. When I buy, I usually don't buy one thing, so I would have to go to Saks or Nordstrom.com and then purchase it, and then I wouldn't even go to those places to swatch the products, and I like touching the products and whatnot. So I would still, if I would go to Macy's or whatnot and I see a color that I love, I would purchase another Chanel blush, but I wouldn't purchase a plum shade, and I would repurchase Accent for sure. This one, you guys, this is the Style Nanda in the shade Nude Peach. This is the 3CE face blush, and this is so pale, I wouldn't repurchase. Not at all. This is super pale. You can see it right here. I'm gonna try to do a technique that I saw a K-beauty YouTuber do, which is a watercolor blush type of technique, in which you basically have a transition shade on your blush, and I'm gonna try and use this that way. But this is one that it's in my chopping block. I have it in my drawer, but I'm thinking about decluttering it. I just want to try that technique, and this is the only blush that I have to do so. So I'm gonna try the technique. If I love it, maybe this will be an obsession, but I truly don't think so. This is, I think, gonna be a declutter soon. You can see here how light it is. So on my face, it looks almost like chalk. let's just get this one out of the way. This is the Nars multiple, and this was the tinting balm, I think. I don't remember, but this was a tint from the multiples, and this is in the shade Turk and Caicos, and these ones were basically brand new a few months ago, but I've been using them a ton for the gym, and this was basically from 2011 or something crazy like that. Nars is one of my favorites, if not my favorite high-end brand, and Nars blushes began this whole blush frenzy and obsession and makeup obsession in general. So this one, this tint is so beautiful. This is super sheer. I think it's the only cream that he picked out, and you can see it right here. These on the cheeks looks lovely. If Nars would re-release this multiple, I think this is even better than the regular multiples that they carry. I would definitely repurchase. I know that it will take me a while to finish them. It has been going down slowly but surely because I've been using them so much, but these are so easy to use. I never use them on my lips, but as a tint on my cheeks for every day, it's perfection, and I think this would be trendy right now. Yeah, for sure I would repurchase. I wouldn't repurchase the multiples that they have right now. I have a few shades and I don't love them now that I'm more into cream blushes. They're good, but they're not great. I prefer the regular powder blushes. This one, you guys, is the Lorac Baked Matte Satin Blush in the shade Flaunt. I've been putting it in a declutter pile for years by now because I wanted another shade. Now I don't remember the name of the shade that I actually wanted, but this was my girl Shay. She mentioned the other shade and it wasn't available, so I had to choose another one, and I was into pink blushes at the moment, but this has more of a magenta tone to it. Since I've been into pink blushes lately, I basically pulled it out from the bag of things that I'm gonna declutter to see if I can try it a few more times and see if I use it. If I don't use it within a month, then this will be decluttered. This formula is beautiful. There's just a thing about the shade that if I haven't used this in ages, then why would I keep it? I don't know if this formula is still available from Lorac, but you guys, I wouldn't repurchase this. I wouldn't. If I had it in a nude shade, probably I would, but I wouldn't repurchase this. It's just not my thing. Oh, he chose one of the Bisou blushes. I don't know if you can get this in the US, but a friend of mine, she sent me a lot of colors. One color I think I wouldn't buy, that it's too mauvey, but this one, it's so pretty. And I think this one or another one, I don't remember the exact shade. This is Pignon. This is a dupe, I think, for either Songbird or Wild Honey, or there's one of these Bisou blushes that is a dupe for Wild Honey, and the formula of these ones is just phenomenal. I have to say that these impressed me a ton. I haven't used all of the shades, but I have swatched them, and I think, yeah, it's Wild Honey, and this is just perfection. I know the packaging looks cheap, and I think the product is super affordable, but if you can get your hands on it, this is basically, like, you guys know Essence. Essence has these beautiful blushes, Satin Love and Satin something, Satin Love, and I don't remember the other one. But those two blushes are one of my favorite blushes in my collection. And these, in my opinion, are that good quality, being super affordable. So yeah, if I were to travel to Mexico, wherever they sold Bisou, I would for sure, knowing what I know about them, pick the colors that I like for sure. I wouldn't pick every color, but Pignon I would pick out for sure because it's just a beautiful bronzy with a hint of orange tone. I have 5 more to go. So this one is from Nars, and I wanted to show this one to you because this I've repressed twice, and this is one of my most loved blushes in my collection. I haven't worn it in a while, but I was so into orange blushes, and these I went on a hunt when I was living in New York to find it because it was sold out everywhere, and as soon as I saw it at the Times Square Sephora, I basically had to have it, and I used it non-stop. This was just something crazy for me. The pigmentation, this is a beautiful blush for deep skin tones, and this is a shimmering blush, so it has gold all throughout the blush. It's not a subtle blush whatsoever, but it doesn't matter your skin tone, you can use it. This reminds me a ton of the new Hourglass face palette that they have for the holiday, the tiger one. You can see right here the orange. Oh my goodness, this is stunning. I would repurchase this for sure. I've thought about repurchasing it to not have it looking this crazy, but the truth is I don't need to. This is still working just fine, and I don't need to buy it just because it's not looking pretty. It's, again, my blush. And for Nars blushes, the formula blushes, it's one of my favorite formula blushes. I've been thinking about doing you guys a video, all the orange and coral blushes, all the pink blushes, all the nude blushes from Nars swatched on my face, if you guys would like to see that, because Nars makes my favorite blush formula. He wanted to choose different colors, so he picked out a few different blushes. So this is the Patrick Ta for Face She's So LA Double Take Cream or Creme and Powder Blush, and I've shown these recently on my videos. This is so stunning, and you guys, if I hadn't purchased this, I would still want to purchase it because I had it on my wish list for a long time, but I was on a no buy, and then I didn't want to just spend the money on it. I didn't know if I was gonna love cream blushes, but now I do love creams. And then when I got it at first, I don't know if it was because I was pregnant and I was just hating on everything, but now that I've used it, that I put it on my Shop My Stash, which I'm gonna put someplace on the screen, and I'm gonna do an update soon, this has become one of my favorite blushes. You can see that the cream is used and abused, and then the logo right here, it's looking blurry because I used this almost the entire month that I had it on the Shop My Stash, and it's just phenomenal. I love the cream. It's easy to blend. I would use the cream sometimes on its own, and then I would use the powder on its own, or I would layer them. If Patrick Ta would come up with the same palette that he came up last year, not the one that he came up with this year, I would purchase that because he has a few different shades that I would want to try. So this is She's So LA swatch right here, and this is so beautiful. In my opinion, a stunning blush. I know that I would repurchase. I'm hoping for him to come up with a pinky nude and more of a few bridal colors, because I would love to have this on my kit or just on my personal drawer, because for blushes I rotate them into my makeup artistry kit. I sanitize them and rotate them in. So yeah, this is one that I would definitely repurchase now that I know it, because if it was because of a first impression, then I don't think I would. But now that I know it so much, I would definitely repurchase. Is that even though you can see it and it looks more on the nude bronzy side, it has a hint of pink when applied to the cheeks. So that was the thing that threw me off when I first got it, but now I love that look. It looks like if I was a little bit sunburnt. So it's really my style, and I know it will work beautifully for either summer or fall. In my opinion, it will work all year round with a bunch of looks. It does have a different undertone on the cheeks than what you see in the pan. Some sort of a rose tone to it. He chose this one, and he even put it back in the box, and I was saying like, be careful, because I didn't want him to break it. You guys know that men are not that careful with beautiful things. This is Flirtatious by Pat McGrath. This is called the Divine Blush. This shade I purchased on my own after a friend gave me Divine Rose 1. And oh my goodness, you guys know me. Mattely, flirtatious, my type of blush. This is a blush that I can wear every day. This is the type of blush that I could say if I could only keep one, this would be in that category. I wouldn't say that it would be this one, because Mattely is still my favorite, maybe because I'm faithful to it, but this is that sort of a blush. The formula of these blushes blends amazingly. The Pat McGrath face palettes, I'm thinking about getting them, the blush palettes, because these blushes are a dream. I didn't pick up any of the limited edition, the 2 shade ones that she came up with recently. This is Flirtatious, so nude and beautiful, because they were too hot pink for me, too pigmented and hot pink for me. I prefer more of a nude blush in general, or just a one-tone blush without it being too pink and fuchsia shade. This is for sure one that I would repurchase time after time. I know that if I could get my hands on more nude blushes by McGrath, they would be up there with my Nars formula of blushes. If it's your first time on my channel, my all-time favorite formula of blushes always were Nars and Becca. Now that Becca is discontinued, it's still one of my favorites, but now I have the Heavenly Glow blushes by M Cosmetic for a glowy blush, and then Laura Mercier blushes since I started trying it about 2 years ago or 2 years and a half ago. They have become my favorite up there with Nars, even though they're completely different formulas. But recently, this one and another one that I'm gonna show you have been up there in formula for me. So yeah, this is one of my favorite formulas now in my collection. I think that you can't do no wrong when trying these blushes. The way that they apply and blend into the skin is seamless. So yeah, I would purchase more Pat McGrath blushes, and then I would also repurchase Flirtatious if I could turn back time. You guys, this one, he chose Persimmon, and this is a Heavenly Glow formula, and I told you guys just now that it has become one of my favorite formulas. But to be honest, you guys, I'm gonna swatch these right next to Taj Mahal, because this is more of a tangerine shade, and I don't know, I haven't worn this still on my cheeks. I worn it once because I was trying it out, but this is too yellow and I don't know how I feel about it. It's this one right here. This is like a marigold color. It's beautiful. I have nothing like it on my collection. The formula, I will keep repurchasing colors from this formula. I want the rose one that they have. I've been wanting to try Rococo. There's a few shades that I still want from this line. Again, one of my favorite formulas now for a glowy, beautiful blush. It's buildable. It can become super pigmented. Amazing on the cheeks. And if I didn't purchase this, I would think that I would still want it. But after having it in my collection, basically as soon as I received it and the first time that I applied it, I regretted purchasing it. Not for the collector's purpose, because I love having the limited edition packaging, and then these are the only two, Cherub and this one. I keep them on their box. The rest of them I threw out the boxes already. And you guys, I don't know if I would repurchase Persimmon. I would repurchase Cherub 10,000 times for sure, but this one I think I wouldn't. I would have to try it more to let you guys know for sure, but I don't see myself wearing that yellow blush basically every day or a ton. If I were to just go and use orange shade or something orangey, I would go for something like Taj Mahal over Persimmon. It's too yellow. I don't know. I would have to try it more, and I will make it my mission to try with different looks to see how it complements my skin, but I don't think this is a favorite. I think I wouldn't repurchase it if I could turn back time. And then last but not least, you guys, this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow in the shade 001 Pink. You guys, this is one of the newest blushes in my collection. I bought it this year, I think. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. When I first got it, I thought this is too hot of a pink and it's too cool tone for me. I'm gonna not love it that much. And then when I started to wear it on my cheeks, this is a pH type of blush that it will just change colors a little bit and it will be different on everyone, and I find that to be true. If I apply too much, then it will get hot pink on my cheeks. So you have to apply a little bit, even if it doesn't swatch that good. You can see it right here. It doesn't swatch that good. It swatches as if it's not gonna be pigmented on the cheeks. I swatched it right here, and you think that basically you were robbed because this is a small pan of blush, but this looks beautiful on the cheeks. I love it so much that as soon as the coral shade was back in stock, I had my notification on and I purchased it, and it's actually, without planning it, the blush that I'm wearing on my cheeks today and on my nose. And you guys, I love them both so much. So much. You will see a review soon and a comparison of the two so that you guys can see which one you prefer. But if Dior would come up with a nude version of it and a peach version of it, I would purchase it. So beautiful. It's hyped up and viral for a reason. This could do no wrong. I love it. The markings of the Dior letters is almost rubbed off completely, and I have over 100 blushes in my collection. So for me to tell you that this is going up there for my favorite formulas, with the Heaven's Glow by M Cosmetics, Pat McGrath one, the Nars one, the Becca and the Laura Mercier, it's no joke. I have so many blushes and this is just perfection. I adore it. I adore it. I bought it because of the hype, and then after trying it, I fell in love with it even without wanting to fall in love with it in a way. So that for me is the perfect kind of regret purchase at first that became a true love. And if you're thinking that the color is the color on the outside, maybe it's similar for the pink one, but not for the coral one. The coral one looks peach, and it actually surprised me, and I wasn't sure that I was gonna love it because it was more on the coral side instead of a peach. But I actually love it more, I think, now that I've tried it as a coral than if it would have been a peach. Okay, you guys, so out of 11 blushes, I'm not gonna repurchase, or I wouldn't repurchase 4 of them. The Lorac one in the shade Flaunt, I think the formula is beautiful. You saw the blush, it looks beautiful in the close-up, but I wouldn't repurchase it because I bought it ages ago and I basically worn it once and never again. Then Persimmon, you guys, I wouldn't repurchase these. I'm happy that I have it in my collection. I'm happy that I got to know it in person, because if not, I would have had it in my wish list forever, but I wouldn't repurchase it knowing now that it's this yellow. It's unique, but I wouldn't repurchase it. The Chanel blush in the shade Plum Attraction, because I'm not that into plums, but the formula. And same with the M Cosmetics formula blush, the Heavenly Glow formula. I would repurchase that formula, but I wouldn't repurchase that shade. And then this one, I would repurchase the formula. I have other shades, but I wouldn't repurchase any plum blushes whatsoever. And then this Style Nanda, if they are all this pastel, I don't think I would repurchase any of the shades. Maybe if it's a little bit more pigmented, I would, but this looks chalky on my skin, not like the Ilimasca Katie that I love so much that it's still a pastel. That one looks more beautiful. This one, I just find it to be underwhelming. Maybe for someone that's way more fair than me, lighter than me, but I don't know. This is just a blush that I should declutter. Honestly, I should declutter the Chanel one as well and the Lorac one. I would keep the Heaven's Glow because I love the formula so much. I can just use it as a unique type of blush, but I should declutter the other 3 for sure. And then for the ones that I would keep and repurchase is the Bisou in the shade Pignon. This is beautiful. It has a hint of sheen to it. Then the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow in the shade Pink. You guys, new formula love in my collection. I'm obsessed with them. They change with your pH. For sure, the Patrick Tashi So LA. I would purchase more shades of this formula. I adore it so much. I fell in love with it after wanting it, hating it when I got it, and then fell in love with it while using it, which is the best way to fall in love with a product instead of just your idea of the product. Then Nars Taj Mahal, it's one of my favorite blushes in my entire collection. It's so unique, it's beautiful. It can be worn from the fairest of skin tones to the deepest one. You just have to use the best brush for it depending on your skin tone and have a light hand, because it's a shimmering formula. So beautiful. Then the Accent blush by Chanel, it's a beautiful nude. It reminds me a ton of Madly. It's one of those shades that I would repurchase and finish for sure, and that it looks beautiful with a smoky eye. Then for Flirtatious by Pat McGrath, I would purchase more shades of this formula for sure. And if we're just talking about the shade, this is a great shade. It's just beautiful. Then last but not least, the Nars Multiple, the tint in the shade Turk Caicos. If they would come up again with, I have a fuchsia one, and then the red one, it was stolen from me. if I could repurchase all of them, if I finish them, I would repurchase all of them. So I'm hoping that Nars would come back up with them, since now this is like a trendy thing. So yeah, this would be the ones that I would keep, and I loved doing this video, you guys. So that was it. If you find this video helpful, if you liked it, let me know which blushes you would keep. What's your favorite formula of blush in your entire collection? And then also, as an emoji today, let's just leave something related to blushing, maybe a geisha if you can find one on the emojis. If you watch the entire video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Everything that I'm showing you guys that I loved and that it's still available from this video, I will leave it linked below, and let me know which category you would like to see next on my channel. That's it, you guys. I love you, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.